So now it's time for the bottom line, aka the terrible twos. Here we go. Big money. Final round.
The bottom line.
Now, these final two questions are the most important questions of the day. So those of you who just want to know the answers to the test and you want to cheat, those of you that don't ever take the scenic route, those of you that, I'm not going to get there. That was going to sound dirty. I'm not going to say that third example.
Ryan.
I can't do it. But this is for you, the people that just want to skip ahead.
We're not dirty. Kat can be dirty in her stand-up comedy, but we're not dirty.
First question is, Michael Kenyon Rosenberg, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you give the first episode of Seinfeld called Pilot or Good News, Bad News?
Yeah, either one. Well, I knew you were going to ask this question, Ryan.
What?
So, I actually did think about this, and it's with great sorrow that I have to give this episode a 5 out of 10. Obviously, like for me, like Kat and probably Ryan too, like I was remembering all the great episodes of Seinfeld, and this one did not live up to that. I did not have a resolution at the end. It seemed like they were trying to stuff in stand-up comedy at the expense of the story that they were telling. And for all those reasons, I wish I could give it I'll give it a 5.5. I'll tell you
Whoa.
that. I'll give you an extra 0.5 just to
what a guy.
Just to put it on the good side than the bad side. But 5.5, and it's just it was, like I said, a ho-hum start to one of the greatest sitcoms of all time. So
okay. Well, what do you think, Kat? Scale of 1 to 10, is it on the good side, on the bad side? You gonna give it a 10?
First of all, I'm very, very, very dejected that my scores were very off today for you guys. I didn't have my mojo that I usually have.
Yeah.
Wrong here. So maybe we can cut that part out.
That's true. Yeah. At least you have your bracelet. You laughed at our jokes. You brought some of your own jokes.
Yeah.
I think it's forgivable.
Yeah, you still have a smile, so that's all right.
All right. So this is going to be a little biased, I guess, because I just love this series so much. I can't give it a 5. I just can't. So I will say it's 6.6.
Is there a third decimal?
6.68.
Okay.
6.66.
Yeah, that's what our concern was.
2/3.
Ryan? Okay.
Now it's your turn to be in the hot seat.
Well,
this is what I've been waiting for.
Last night when I watched this, I gave it a number, but it was a soft number because I want to see how I felt about it after talking it out, after letting it bounce around in my head.
That's why I give it the extra 0.5 actually too. So
yeah, exactly. So it was not as funny as I remember, but it was funnier than most shows at that time. You put it up against 1989 sitcoms, and it's probably funnier than most of them. It was better than I expected. It was better than I remember thinking it would be, if that's a thing. And it was innovative and creative. It lost points for not having any, closure, but it had a punchline. That's what it was. It was just a punchline at the end, but not closure. So maybe that's kind of what their formula was. They're like, every scene is a setup and a punchline, and so the episode is a setup and a punchline. They're like, it ends on a punchline. What's the big deal? So for that reason, I'm sticking with the number I gave it last night, and that is a 7.5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Now, but the show itself was way higher. So this is, yeah, definitely much worse than what the show was later.
Right.
Show's like a 10.
So
I don't know if I would give it a 10, but
9.8.
definitely high up there.
I'd give it like
The
a
show
10.
as a whole, but
Loved it. Now, Michael Kenyon Rosenberg, for the purposes of this podcast, we all had to watch the first episode of Seinfeld. But now that the podcast is over and you are free to move about the internet, would you, theoretically speaking, of your own volition, watch the second episode based on the merits of the first?
yes. Yeah. I would.
Wow.
Even though I gave it a 5.5, I would still watch the second, even just if I was like seeing this for the first time. It's hard to say that though, because like we've all seen so much Seinfeld in our lives, so it's hard to say like I similar to Kat too. I'd seen a lot of Seinfeld before going back and rewatching the whole series, and so I would still. I mean, I have, and I will again. So,
What about you, Kat? Would you watch the second?
Absolutely. 100%. Absolutely. And I have. So, I mean.
so there you go.
Now,
Here's the moment that I've been waiting for.
I almost just changed my number because we had a 5.5, a 6.6, and I did 7.5. But I'm like, but then if I go 7.7, that's just dishonest. I don't feel that way. I don't feel that way. Yes, I would. I would, because, and I'm putting myself in, if I'd never seen any of it ever before at all, I think I would, out of curiosity, because it had a fresh take. It had a new take. It was different than what was going on. It had some interesting things. It didn't kill me, but it had enough interesting quirks and creative aspects to where I would be curious enough to watch a second episode, surprisingly.
But even though the hallway couldn't exist?
Especially because of that.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, I love that. So that's it. There you have it, guys. Quick math tells us it's an average of about a 6.566 and 3 yeses and big money. So if you'd like us to review the first episode of a series, just say WTF Friends or WTF Above and Beyond or Space Final Conflict or WTF Andromeda. Wasn't that the Gene Roddenberry thing? Andromeda? No.
I don't know. I think Robert Hugh Wolf worked on it though, right?
Yeah. What was the one that Gene Roddenberry did?
Star Trek.
No, but it was a little later. It was
oh, Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Anyway, but thanks very much for joining us, Kat. You're always great. We love having you.
Thank you for having me. It's always so fun. I love it.
Thanks for putting up with us again.
I know.
Mostly Ryan.
And please remember, everybody at home, to not just in the comments tell us what you'd like us to review, but give us a like. Share this with your friends. Tag your friends. Harass them. Please be sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon for notifications. That is the best way to support this endeavor, is to just like and subscribe and comment and share us around. Any final words, Michael?
No is my final word.
Well, and I guess we'll just have to say
you have some final words though, right?
Might as well, because I'll tell you, this podcast was kind of a mishmash of an 80s and 90s sitcom and creating Michael's new sitcom.
This podcast could not exist in real life.
This podcast was mind-blowing.
Hell yeah. So everybody at home, just remember what Michael Kenyon Rosenberg always likes to tell us.
I always say don't forget to register to be an organ donor. But then, and before that, I always have said don't forget to watch the first of things.
That's right, people. That's what we do.